night. Time was running out, and everyone in her life had insisted that this was a day that couldn't be postponed any longer. Her father's condition had been stable enough for now, and finding the dress, had become not just a necessity, but a symbol of hope, of love, and of memories yet to be made. Sophia had to find the gown that her father could see her in, knowing it might be one of the last moments they'd share before the wedding day. As they approached the boutique, a rush of emotions washed over Sophia. But she wasn't alone. With her came an entourage that promised a day full of opinions, drama, and no shortage of laughter. Leading the charge had been her mother, Marie, always the traditionalist, with a sharp eye for anything resembling a classic family heirloom. Beside her, best friend Lily, practically bouncing with excitement, had been the living embodiment of modern style, allergic to anything remotely traditional. Her younger sister Chloe, as always, had been tagging along, phone glued to her hand, ready to stir up drama at the first opportunity. Finally, there had been Margaret, Sophia's soon-to-be mother-in-law, whose love for luxury could turn even the simplest decision into a debate of grandeur. "Here we are," Marie declared, her voice a mix of excitement and determination, the kind that made it clear she intended to win whatever unseen battle lay ahead. Lily, grinning, had thrown a playful arm around Sophia's shoulders. "All right, bride-to-be, time to make some magic happen. No pressure, but this dress needs to be legendary." Sophia smiled softly, trying to feel the enthusiasm everyone else seemed to have in abundance. Inside, her stomach churned with a mix of nerves and hope. The perfect dress wasn't just a matter of style or taste, it was a chance to give her father one last beautiful memory. He might not be able to walk her down the aisle, but he would see her in the dress that would make her feel whole. Amelia, the bridal consultant, had been waiting for them at the entrance, her face warm and welcoming. She greeted them with a soft yet confident smile, sensing the importance of the day for Sophia. "Sophia, we've been expecting you. I know we don't have much time, but don't worry, we'll find something perfect." Inside, the boutique felt like a dreamland. Rows of white, ivory, and champagne gowns, sparkling under the soft lighting. The air had been thick with the scent of fresh flowers and the faint hum of instrumental music. Yet, for Sophia, the weight of the moment had pressed down on her shoulders, and her thoughts kept drifting back to her father. "So, where do we start?" Chloe asked, her voice filled with that familiar blend of curiosity and a hint of competitiveness, like she was about to turn the dress hunt into a game she could win. Sophia took a deep breath, explaining softly, "I'm looking for something timeless but modern. I want my father to see me in something special, something that feels like me." The mention of her father brought a hush to the group. For a moment, they all shared a look of understanding. This wasn't just about the dress anymore. It was about family, about love, and about making sure that, in the whirlwind of wedding chaos, something felt real and personal. Amelia nodded, her voice kind. "I think I know just the thing to start with. Let me show you some options." The first dress Amelia had chosen had been a classic. A beautiful lace gown with intricate details that seemed to whisper of tradition and timelessness. It had been a gown that could have graced a wedding decades ago, yet still felt elegant today. Marie had gasped as soon as it had been brought out, her hands clutching her purse in excitement. "This!" Marie exclaimed, her eyes wide. "This is the one. It's exactly like the dresses in our family, like your grandmother's and mine. Your father will love it." Sophia had stepped into the gown, the soft lace hugging her figure delicately. As she had turned to look in the mirror, her reflection had stared back at her, but something had felt off. The dress had been beautiful, no question, but it hadn't felt like her. It had felt like she was wearing someone else's story. Marie, however, had been practically beaming. "Oh, Sophia, this is perfect. Imagine your father seeing you in this. He'll think you're a vision." Lily had been the first to speak up, breaking the silent contemplation. "Yeah, but does it feel like you, Sophia?" Her voice had been light, but there had been a serious undertone, You don't want to be a copy of the past. You want something that's you. The tension had begun to simmer. Marie's smile had faded slightly, her traditional view clashing with Lily's modern approach. "What's wrong with tradition?" Marie had asked, her voice just a bit sharper than before. "This dress is timeless." Lily had shrugged, unbothered. Timeless is great, but so is, the 21st century. Sophia, caught between the two, had only felt more conflicted. She hadn't wanted to disappoint her mother, but something about the gown had felt more like a nod to the past than a step into her future. The glamorous gown. The second dress Amelia had suggested had been nothing short of breathtaking. Sleek, modern, with a dramatic beaded train that sparkled with every movement, it had been a far cry from the lace gown. As soon as Sophia had slipped into it, she had felt a surge of confidence. The dress had made her feel powerful, glamorous, like a star stepping onto a red carpet. Margaret's reaction had been immediate. "Now this is a dress fit for a Rossi wedding. It's a showstopper." Her approval had been clear, and for a moment, Sophia had felt herself drawn to the idea of wearing something so bold. Chloe, however, had raised an eyebrow. "Isn't it a bit much for a church wedding?" The comment had hung in the air, leaving Sophia to second-guess the choice. Yes, the gown had been stunning, but had it been too much? Could she really picture herself walking down the aisle in it, in front of her family, in front of her father? Amelia, sensing the growing unease, had gently reminded them that the gown had been at the very top of Sophia's budget, and with the wedding so close, the cost of rush alterations would only push it higher. Lily, always quick with a joke, had thrown her arm around Sophia again. "Don't go broke before the honeymoon, babe." The comment had made Sophia laugh, easing the tension. But the decision had still been difficult. Despite the allure of the glamorous gown, it had become clear that it wasn't the right choice. At least, not for her wedding. The almost dress. Just when it had seemed like the search might never end, Amelia had pulled out a third gown. It had been a perfect blend of classic and modern, with delicate lace details combined with a sleek, fitted silhouette. Sophia had instantly felt a connection to it, as if this dress had been waiting for her all along. But there had been a twist. Amelia had explained that the gown had already been reserved by another bride, Jennifer King, whose wedding had been postponed indefinitely due to unforeseen circumstances. Sophia had hesitated, unsure how to feel about wearing a gown that had been chosen by someone else. Marie had shared her concern, her voice quiet but firm. "Maybe it's best to keep looking. You don't want someone else's story attached to your dress." Margaret, however, had brushed off the worry. Jennifer postponed indefinitely. "That dress could be yours, Sophia. Don't let a little superstition stop you." The debate had continued, with everyone weighing in, until Sophia's phone had buzzed. The number had been unknown, but something had told her to answer. It had been Jennifer King herself. Jennifer's voice had been kind, understanding the situation completely. She had explained that, while her own wedding hadn't gone as planned, she didn't want Sophia to feel guilty about wearing the dress if it had felt right. "Dresses carry memories," she had said softly. "It's not just fabric, but if you choose it, it becomes your story." Sophia had hung up the phone feeling conflicted. The dress had been everything she had imagined, but now it had felt heavy with someone else's unfulfilled dream. She hadn't been sure if she could carry that weight into her own future. The perfect dress. As the day had started to wind down and Sophia had begun to feel like giving up, Amelia had returned with one final dress. It had been simple, elegant, with no extravagant details or complex history attached to it. It had felt like a breath of fresh air, a blank canvas ready for her to paint her own story. As she had slipped into the gown, a wave of calm had washed over her. The dress had felt like it had been made for her. No drama, no complications. Just her, standing in a gown that reflected who she truly was. Tears had welled in her eyes as she had looked at herself in the mirror. This was it. This was the dress. Marie had been the first to speak, her voice choked with emotion. "It's perfect, Sophia. It's you." Lily had grinned, giving Sophia's hand a gentle squeeze. "Now this is the glow I've been waiting for." Even Chloe had stayed quiet for once, her usual sharp tongue softened by the sincerity of the moment. Margaret had nodded, finally agreeing. "It's beautiful, and it's yours." In that moment, Sophia had known that she had found more than just a dress. She had found a symbol of her journey, through her father's illness, through the chaos of wedding planning, and through the clashing opinions of those she loved most. This dress hadn't been the most glamorous or the most traditional, but it had been hers, and as she stood there, feeling her mother's approval, her best friend's support, and the quiet understanding of her family, Sophia had said yes, not just to the dress, but to the future she had shaped on her own terms.